Hi guys, welcome back to the Home and Homestead. My name is Rebecca, and today in the Homestead we'll be doing some freezer preservation, and I'll show you how you can easily freeze eggs. You can take fresh eggs and prep them for the freezer, and that way they'll be ready to take out and thaw overnight when needed for an egg casserole or quiche or for baking recipes. This is a great way to have some long-term storage of eggs as well as a consistent supply available to you. So follow along while we do this freezer preservation on how to freeze eggs. Alright, so let's get our eggs prepped for the freezer. So what I have here are 2 baking pans, and in them I have a silicone muffin pan. So we'll use this to make 2 dozen eggs for in the freezer. This is a great way to long-term store eggs if you find them on sale, or if you buy them in bulk from Sam's or Costco or other such places like that, and you find that you haven't used your eggs and it's getting close to the expiration date. You can do this simple process, and then these will freeze for, some people say up to a year, but I have no problem using them within 3 to 4 months. So I really can't speak for longer storage than that. But just follow along and see how we do this today. So all you do is you simply crack your egg and place 1 egg into each of the muffin cavities here. If you have chickens on your property and you find that certain times of year you have an abundance of eggs and other times of year they're just not laying like they normally do, this is another great way to have a constant and consistent supply of eggs. When you have an abundance of eggs from your chickens and you've given about all your family, friends and neighbors can take, you can freeze some of the eggs and then you'll have a supply for yourself when your chickens are not laying as consistently. Now what you want to do is take a small whisk and puncture each of the yolks, and we're going to slightly scramble them in each of these wells. If you find that it's just too messy, you can certainly scramble in a small bowl prior and then pour them into the pan. I'll do that method for the other pan, and you can see which way you would like to do it. You just want to break up that yolk and just slightly scramble the egg. I really like using these silicone pans for a project such as this because once these eggs are frozen, they'll pop out of these molds really easily. And it didn't require any spraying of oils or anything like that. Alright, so we'll set this pan off to the side and we'll do this one. So for this pan, I'll just scramble each egg individually in a bowl and pour them in. You definitely get a little bit of a better scramble this way, and you can decide which texture of egg you prefer after they're frozen for yourself. So to prep these eggs for use after they're frozen is you simply take out the desired number of eggs you'll need for whatever recipe or project you're doing and just thaw them overnight in the refrigerator. Having your eggs frozen and prepped this way works perfectly for if you're going to make a quiche, because you can take out your homemade pie crust. You can follow my recipe I have, my zucchini apple pie video. I also have a short video on Pinterest for the process of my homemade pie crust recipe. I can also provide a link in the description box below for a free printable of that recipe. But anyway, I take out my homemade pie crust, and then I'll take out 6 of these frozen eggs, and I just thaw the pie crust and the eggs overnight in the refrigerator, and that way in the morning they're all prepped and ready to go. Now I've seen preparations where they suggest adding a half teaspoon or a quarter teaspoon of sugar or salt per egg in each well. I have not found the need for that, but if you wanted to experiment and see how you liked it, go right ahead. So now we have our 2 pans of our prepped eggs. They're slightly scrambled in each of the wells. What I like to do is take a piece of parchment paper and cover each of the cans here. Then you can even stack them. What we'll do is put these into the freezer and we'll freeze them for about 4 hours or until the well of the scrambled egg is completely frozen. Then we'll be able to pop them out of the muffin tin and then get them ready for the final storage in the freezer. So let me get these into the freezer and then we'll come back for the next step. Alright guys, so the eggs have been freezing for about 6 hours and they are nice and solidly frozen. So we'll just remove this parchment paper here. Now all we're going to do is pop these frozen eggs right out of the muffin liner. And we'll put them into a Ziploc bag or a freezer bag. So what I like to use for things that I frequently freeze and repeatedly freeze are these silicone reusable zip top bags. This is a 2-gallon size bag. I can provide a link in the description box below. And you just pop them out of there and place them into this freezer bag. And here again is why I really like these silicone muffin liners, because they're really easy to maneuver in order to pop the frozen scrambled egg out. These are really easy to use and really easy to clean. So here you go. We have 2 dozen eggs ready to go into the freezer, and these will keep in the freezer for anywhere between 3 months to a year. I typically use them up within 3 to 4 months myself, but numerous references have shown that frozen eggs prepared this way can last up to 1 year in the freezer. And how I take them and defrost them is I like to use a glass Pyrex dish with a cover, and the night before I'll just take out as many eggs as I wish to thaw, and I just place them into the covered dish, and I just put this in the refrigerator, and by morning they're nice and defrosted and ready to go just like a fresh egg. So let me put these back in the bag here and I'll get these into the freezer. So you just want to try to get as much air out as you can. And they'll fit nicely into the freezer just like this. Well, I hope you enjoyed our time together in the kitchen while we did this freezer preservation, and I showed you how you can easily freeze fresh eggs so they can last for a much longer span of time. If you'd like to check out other videos on food preservation, you can check out my food preservation playlist where I have dehydrating, freezing, canning, both water bath canning and pressure canning videos that you can check out. If you're new to the channel, I would appreciate you subscribing. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. See you next time. Take care.